In the heart of Miami, inside a luxury high-rise that sparkled under the city lights, a chilling tragedy unfolded. On a seemingly ordinary April evening, 911 operators received a desperate call from a young woman claiming self-defense. When paramedics arrived, they found Christian Obumseli, a bright and ambitious 27-year-old, bleeding to death from a stab wound. His girlfriend, Courtney, a social media star with millions of followers, stood nearby, her hands trembling, soaked in blood. How did a couple once filled with passion and promise reach this devastating point? Behind the glamour of Courtney's OnlyFans career and Christian's dreams of success, was there a darker, hidden reality? Was this a case of love gone wrong, or something far more sinister? As investigators unraveled their story, shocking secrets emerged. Friends spoke of violent fights, messages hinted at years of tension, and a single knife changed their lives forever. Was it self-defense, as Courtney claimed, or murder? What really happened that night in Miami? And more importantly, why? Stay with us as we uncover the truths, lies, and heartbreak in a story that gripped the nation. This content may be disturbing to some viewers as it discusses sensitive topics related to assault. Proceed with discretion. Welcome to the Crime Series. I am glad to have you join us on another video. Kindly subscribe, like, and share. Let me know where you are watching from. Courtney was born on April 21, 1996, in Midland, Texas, a small city best known for its connection to the oil industry. From an early age, Courtney showed signs of ambition and a desire for a life beyond the quietness of her hometown. She was known as an outgoing, energetic, and determined young girl who dreamed of achieving success in the spotlight. Growing up, Courtney was active and athletic. She participated in various activities that reflected her love for fitness and competition. This passion would later shape her career. She was a talented gymnast, dedicating much of her time to perfecting routines and excelling in competitions. Friends and family recall that she had a strong competitive spirit and a drive to be the best at whatever she pursued. Courtney was also drawn to beauty and fashion. She had a keen interest in modeling, experimenting with clothes and makeup to express her style. As a teenager, she was active on social media platforms like Instagram, where she showcased her fitness routines, lifestyle, and personal achievements. Her online presence quickly grew, and she began gaining followers who admired her confidence and glamorous lifestyle. After graduating high school, Courtney decided to leave her small-town life behind and move to Austin, Texas. There, she pursued her passion for modeling and acting, while also working as a bartender to support herself financially. Austin provided her with the opportunity to network and build connections in the modeling and entertainment industries. As Courtney's popularity grew, so did her aspirations. She decided to move to Miami, Florida, a city known for its vibrant culture, nightlife, and opportunities for influencers and entertainers. Miami represented a chance for her to expand her brand, collaborate with other influencers, and reach new heights in her career. It was in Miami she met her partner, Christian Obumseli. Christian Toby Obumseli was born into a warm and loving Nigerian-American family. Growing up in Plano, Texas, Christian was often described by those around him as kind-hearted and full of life. He was the kind of person who could light up a room with his smile and make friends easily. His parents, who had immigrated from Nigeria, worked hard to give their children a good life, instilling in them values of respect, ambition, and resilience. From a young age, Christian showed a strong interest in sports and academics. He played football throughout high school, where he was known not just for his skills on the field, but also for his leadership and determination. Teachers and coaches often praised him for his ability to motivate his teammates and his focus on achieving his goals. After high school, Christian attended Texas Tech University. While there, he became increasingly interested in the world of technology and finance. He was fascinated by the emerging field of cryptocurrency and began exploring ways to build a career around it. Friends recall him spending hours learning about blockchain and investment strategies, always eager to share his latest insights. As Christian navigated his 20s, he began to see Miami as a city of opportunity. He believed it was the perfect place to expand his horizons and dive deeper into the tech and finance scene. This sense of adventure and ambition led him to move there in early 2022, hoping to make a fresh start and explore new ventures. Courtney Clenny and Christian Obumsili first crossed paths in Texas, a meeting that seemed like fate. Their meeting was magnetic. Both were young, attractive, and full of energy, instantly drawn to each other's charm. Courtney admired Christian's confidence and drive, while Christian was captivated by Courtney's beauty and lively personality. From the start, they seemed to be an exciting match, sharing common interests like fitness, travel, and enjoying life to its fullest. As their relationship began to blossom, those who knew them described their connection as passionate. They often posted photos together on social media, painting a picture of a couple deeply in love. Their followers admired their seemingly perfect relationship, but behind the smiles and snapshots, cracks began to show. As the months went on, their relationship became a mix of highs and lows. They had moments of happiness where they traveled together, laughed, and enjoyed each other's company. At the same time, their arguments became more intense, leaving their friends and family concerned about the couple's future. Despite the struggles, Courtney and Christian decided to stay together. They seemed determined to make their relationship work, even though it was becoming clear to those around them that things weren't entirely healthy. Their story shows how easy it can be to get caught up in a relationship that feels both exciting and challenging at the same time. In January 2022, Courtney Clenny and Christian Obumsili decided to move to Miami, Florida. They had big dreams and hoped this change would help build a better future. Miami, known for its sunny weather, beautiful beaches, and vibrant nightlife, seemed like the perfect place for a fresh start. The couple chose to live in the One Paraíso Residences, a luxury high-rise apartment building in the Edgewater neighborhood. The building was filled with modern amenities like a pool, gym, and stunning views of Biscayne Bay. And of course, it was a glamorous setting that matched Courtney's lifestyle as a social media influencer and model. For Christian, Miami offered new opportunities to grow his career in cryptocurrency, a field he was passionate about.
As we go into the most intense part of this video, kindly like and subscribe to this channel. It gives me motivation to create more videos. If you love this video and wish to see more, kindly subscribe.
After moving to Miami in January 2022, hoping to start fresh in a new city. But instead of finding peace, their relationship took a darker turn. What might have seemed like a picture-perfect couple from the outside was unraveling behind closed doors. Neighbors in the building often heard loud arguments and shouting coming from their unit. Some even reported hearing sounds of objects being thrown. The luxury and beauty of their surroundings could not hide the growing tension between them. Those who interacted with the couple said that their fights seemed to happen often and were intense. It wasn't long before the building's staff became aware of their troubles. One key incident that showed how troubled their relationship had become was caught on security cameras in February 2022. The footage showed Courtney and Christian in an elevator. Courtney appeared visibly upset, and at one point, she was seen hitting Christian multiple times. He didn't appear to fight back in the video, but it painted a troubling picture of how physical their arguments could get. This video later became a crucial piece of evidence in the investigation. Despite the fighting, the couple remained together. Some people who knew them said it was clear that they loved each other deeply, but their relationship seemed to bring out the worst in both of them. Friends recalled how passionate their bond was, but also how quickly that passion could turn into anger and conflict. Courtney, who had built a glamorous online image as an OnlyFans model, often posted about her life on social media. But behind the photos and videos of her smiling or enjoying lavish outings, she was struggling. The pressure of maintaining her public persona, combined with the challenges in her relationship, likely added to her stress. Christian was navigating his own pressures, trying to build a career in cryptocurrency while managing the ups and downs of their relationship. Many of the couple's friends said they had witnessed troubling moments. Some urged Courtney and Christian to seek help or take a break from each other. But like many couples in toxic relationships, they seemed unable, or let's say unwilling, to let go of each other, even as things got worse and it ended fatally. April 3rd, 2022. started like any other day for Courtney Clenny and Christian Obumseli. The couple was caught in the middle of yet another argument. Those who knew them described their relationship as passionate but volatile, often filled with heated exchanges that had, in the past, led to physical confrontations. By the afternoon, things had escalated to a breaking point. Neighbors reported hearing loud shouting and what sounded like a violent struggle coming from their unit. Some had even called security, concerned about the intensity of the altercation. Moments later, at around 5 p.m., Courtney made a frantic call to 911. When emergency responders arrived at the apartment, they found Christian lying on the floor, bleeding heavily from a deep stab wound to his chest. He was unresponsive, and Courtney, covered in blood, appeared visibly shaken and distressed. Christian was rushed to the hospital, but it was too late. He succumbed to his injuries shortly after arriving, leaving his family and friends devastated and searching for answers. Courtney was taken into police custody that same day. However, she wasn't immediately charged with any crime. She told the police that she acted in self-defense after Christian attacked her, and that she only used the knife to protect herself. Courtney's lawyers backed her up, claiming that she had been the victim of abuse in their relationship. The authorities decided to release Courtney after questioning her, explaining that they needed more time to investigate what had really happened. This decision caused a lot of outrage, especially from Christian's family and close friends. They couldn't believe she was allowed to go free while Christian, who they described as kind and loving, had lost his life. Many people began to demand justice for Christian, both in person and on social media. The hashtag Justice for Christian started trending as people shared their frustrations and called for Courtney to be arrested. After Christian Obumseli's tragic death, investigators worked hard to piece together what really happened in the Miami apartment. At first, Courtney Clenny claimed she had acted in self-defense. She told police that Christian had attacked her and she had no choice but to protect herself. However, as detectives looked deeper into their lives, they started uncovering details that cast doubt on Courtney's story. Friends, neighbors, and even building staff described Courtney and Christian's relationship as rocky and full of arguments. Neighbors told investigators that they had often heard loud fights coming from their apartment. One security guard even said that the couple had been so disruptive that management had considered asking them to move out. A critical piece of evidence was a video from February 2022, just 2 months before the fatal incident. The footage, taken from the apartment building's elevator, showed Courtney hitting Christian multiple times while he tried to shield himself. This video suggested a pattern of violence in their relationship, violence that didn't align with the image Courtney presented to the public on her social media accounts. Detectives also uncovered text messages and other digital evidence from Christian's phone. In these messages, Christian told friends and family about the abuse he had endured. He described how Courtney had stabbed him in the leg during a previous argument and often physically attacked him. In one message, he mentioned being hit in the head so hard that he needed stitches. These messages gave investigators a window into Christian's side of the relationship, a side that contradicted Courtney's claim of self-defense. The medical examiner's report raised even more questions about what had happened. Christian's wound was a deep stab to the chest, piercing an artery near his heart. Courtney claimed she had thrown the knife at him from across the room, but experts found that the wound was too deep and forceful to have been caused by a thrown knife. Instead, it seemed more likely that the knife had been plunged into his chest with considerable force. Neighbors who were home on the day of the stabbing also gave statements to the police. One neighbor claimed to have heard loud screaming coming from the apartment shortly before Christian was injured. Others reported hearing Courtney's voice shouting angrily. These accounts added another layer to the investigation, supporting the idea that the couple had been fighting in the moments leading up to the stabbing. As details of the investigation became public, the case drew national attention. Many people, especially those in Christian's community, began demanding justice. They pointed to the evidence of abuse and asked why Courtney hadn't been arrested immediately after the incident. Christian's family also spoke out, describing him as a kind and loving person whose life was cut short far too soon. On August 10, 2022, Courtney was finally arrested in Hawaii. She had been staying there for treatment, reportedly for PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and issues related to substance abuse. Her defense team said she was trying to heal after the traumatic incident and had no intention of running away. After her arrest, Courtney was extradited back to Florida to face the charges. The process of extradition is a legal step to transfer someone from one state to another for a trial. In this case, Miami prosecutors wanted her back so she could stand trial for Christian's death. The trial of Courtney Clenny was one of the most anticipated legal events in Miami in 2023. As the trial began, both the prosecution and the defense opened with strong statements. The prosecution argued that Clenny was the aggressor in a toxic and violent relationship. They described her as someone who had a history of attacking her boyfriend, Christian Obumseli, both physically and emotionally. They pointed to evidence like the elevator video, which showed Clenny hitting Obumseli, and text messages where Christian accused her of stabbing and hurting him in the past. On the other side, Clenny's defense team painted a different picture. They argued that Christian was abusive and that Clenny was a victim of his aggression. They said she feared for her life on the day of the stabbing and had no choice but to defend herself. Her lawyers also shared that she had sought treatment for mental health issues after the incident, highlighting the toll the relationship had taken on her. One of the most dramatic moments of the trial came when Courtney Clenny took the stand. In an emotional testimony, she spoke about the struggles in her relationship with Christian. She described him as someone who was controlling and at times violent. Clenny said she often felt trapped and scared, but stayed in the relationship because she loved him and hoped things would get better. Clenny cried as she recounted the day of the stabbing. She claimed Christian had grabbed her by the throat during an argument, and in her panic, she grabbed the knife to protect herself. She insisted that she threw the knife at him, never intending to kill him. However, under cross-examination, prosecutors questioned inconsistencies in her story and highlighted how her actions after the incident, such as not calling 911 immediately, raised doubts. After weeks of testimony and evidence, the jury was left to decide Clenny's fate. They had to weigh the evidence and decide whether her actions constituted second-degree murder, manslaughter, or self-defense. It was a complex case with no easy answers, and their decision would ultimately determine whether Courtney Clenny would spend years in prison or walk free. The courtroom was filled with tension as the verdict was announced. Courtney Clenny was found guilty of second-degree murder. The decision brought a mix of emotions. For Christian Obumseli's family, it was a step toward justice for the loss of their beloved son and brother. For Clenny's family and supporters, the verdict was devastating. They believed that she was not entirely at fault and that her actions were influenced by fear and years of mental health struggles. Her defense team argued that the case highlighted how complex abusive relationships can be, but the jury ultimately sided with the prosecution's narrative. As of January 2025, the trial of Courtney Clenny, the OnlyFans model accused of fatally stabbing her boyfriend, Christian Obumseli, in April 2022, is still ongoing. Clenny has remained in custody without bond since her arrest. Her defense team has filed motions seeking her release on bond, but these requests have been denied. According to NBC6 South Florida, in addition to the murder charge, Clenny faces new charges, including interception of wire or electronic communication and unauthorized access to a computer, related to allegations of accessing Obumseli's laptop without authorization. As events progresses, we will keep you updated.